we explained that leadership is the act of going ahead of people to take them to a better place from where they are. Of course, if you are an evil leader, you can lead them to to a worse place. But when the kind of leadership we are talking about, like we said last week, is a leadership where you have a group of people that God has put in your hands, and your intention is to take them to a better place. For us as Christians, one of the deliverables is to take people to heaven. Number one. So anybody who is associated with your ministry, you should guard, like Paul used to say, guard their spirit, guard them with the help of the Lord, so that none of them will not reach heaven. But number two, you are guarding them so that they also can become multipliers, so that the people you are reaching will also reach others, and the church of Jesus Christ will continue growing. And so we spent quite a bit of time talking about that in terms of leadership. And my prayer is that as you have been spending the week thinking, am I really a leader of that type? Am I helping people to move from where they are now, which may be a good place, but to the better place? Am I helping them to realize their full potential or not? Those are the things that we are talking about. But we also wanted to mention that whereas we describe the very best of leaders, we need to admit that we are human, and that's one of the most important things in good character. Good character does not pretend. When they fail, they admit they fail. Even with the character, the best, like the best artist, you can do an errant stroke, and you need to monitor your behavior. Every time you have had a leadership session, check, how did you behave? What did you communicate? For some, private or relational habits need to be examined, while for others, it might be tempting to compromise convictions when you are at work, and in the process, you do not therefore end up helping the people. Now, my suggestion to you is that in the week, that's one of the things you are doing, but you need to be doing it for most of your life. Next card. But anyway, talking about character, the thing we emphasized was so that we understand good character gives you credibility. And when you have credibility, it means people trust you, and therefore they are able to walk with you into the future. And they are able to trust you, so you don't waste a lot of your time with mistrust, because mistrust slows down the process. I think it will be important that you understand that character will give you credibility. Therefore, it will be easier for people to work with you. And in the process, you have good legacy. The one thing the person of character answers is that he agrees with the Bible that a good name is better than riches. So he does not spend his time looking for riches as he is leading. His driving force is the benefit to the group rather than what he will get out of it himself. And so that's why he is able to say a good name is better than riches. And the scriptures have a lot to say about that. But what is good character? Good character is actually godlikeness. In other words, when you say somebody is of good character, it means he is like God. So if you act different from God, then obviously you can't be said to be somebody of good character. And I think it will be important then to seek to be like God in your godliness. So when you say God is good, good character means you are good. If we say God is loving, it means we good character means you are showing love. And it will be important that you understand that godlikeness means you study the scriptures and you see who God is like, and you seek to be like him. Whenever you are not like God, you actually then don't have good character. and it will be important that that is something you deal with. Number 2, good character is other-centeredness, not thinking of self, thinking of the others, so that in your leadership role, you are always thinking about the other person, not what is innate for me. And you are thinking about how can I be of help to somebody else. That is other-centeredness. And you need to understand, therefore, whenever you are self-centered rather than other-centered, you obviously, it then means you are not having a good character. Whenever you are asking yourself, what is innate for me? These people have hurt me. You are the center of attention. Don't these people respect me? You are the center of attention. It means you are not having a good character. Whenever you hear people talk about somebody of good character, like when they talk about Madeira, it was the fact that he forgot himself. He was a qualified lawyer. He could have made money. He opted to sacrifice his own life for the life of South Africans, and it took him about 30 years without seeing any progress in what he's doing. Then we say that guy is a man of good character. Other-centeredness is something that you need to look at. And I think it will be important that we are also able to understand that. Number 3, good character goes with leadership, and I think I've spent enough time talking about that. How can you get good character? Several things that I say. Number 1, look at nature. For example, nature has planting and harvesting season. A man of good character does not try to harvest where he has not planted. He accepts a process. It's Steve Covey who says the law of the farm has to operate in good leadership. The law of the farm is the day of planting is not the day of harvesting. And it will be important that if you're a person of good character, you look at nature and understand the way God who created nature and created you, you will not act differently. Now, the presentation is with Dr. Wabura, but I think he is not able to screen it because of the trouble we are getting with the screen or with the internet. I can see people asking for the document. Oh, finally it is there. So go to the next card, Daktari. Can you move on to the next card? Are you able to? Can you hear me? Go to the next card. The next slide. Yeah, that's the one I'm on. So I'm saying nature, if you're talking about good character, we are trying to answer what is good character. Where can you get good character? Look at nature. Number 2, look at your conscience. Conscience is something God puts in every man. It's not in animals, it's in human beings. And when you act or override your conscience, you're not adapt to be a person of good character. The Holy Spirit uses your conscience. So when you are doing something that's not right, there'll be a voice within you telling you what you are doing is wrong. And people of good character are people who do not override their conscience. Thirdly, good character will be seen in your culture. Of course, that has to be tricky because some of our cultural forms are not can have bad source of character. But generally speaking, when we say somebody is of good character, they do things that are culturally acceptable. But that culture has to be checked against the scriptures to be sure that what you are doing is in line with the scripture. Where do we get good character? That means you can get bad character if you rely only on culture. The same thing. Number 4, when you talk about good character, it comes out of religion. If you're a Muslim and you think it's okay to kill people who don't agree with the Quran, when you kill them, the rest of the people still say you have good character because you have gotten your character from your bad beliefs in religion. Number 5, the institution of law and order, what the government calls good and what the government calls good order. That also tells us about good character. And that's why all these other things must be checked against the scriptures. Number 6, we are gaining our character from globalization. That means the things happen in America happen with us and we call them good. Now, that's why all these other sources of character must be checked against the Bible. And next, we answer the question, what can motivate you to do something? When we look at your behavior, what motivates your behavior? And your behavior motivation can be summarized in A, B, C. A for achieve, B for belong, C for control. In other words, when you look at somebody's behavior, it is being driven from within by wanting to achieve. We all want to be successes. And when we are driven by achievement rather than by the Bible, rather than by God's word, you will do many things. Sometimes you want to do almost anything. That's why you end up bribing. You end up doing wrong things. But what is driving you is actually need for success, achievement. And you need to be very careful if you're achievement driven. We should be wanting to succeed, but not at any cost. But please be aware that what you define as success would affect your character. Because unless you'll do almost anything to reach that success. Second motivation is the B, which is belong. What we are saying then, we have such a desire as human beings to be accepted by others that you cannot almost do anything. You, for example, you're in a clan, the clan has agreed to do things that are not in line with the Bible, and you end up doing what the clan wants because you don't want people to think you are not in. You are not, the young people say you are not cool. You are not accepted by the group. And many people, their character is affected by trying to get accepted. If you want a godly character, you must be careful about the desire to belong, the desire to be accepted. Many people are doing wrong things because of desire to be accepted. And then the final one is desire for control. That is desire for power. We are so, if for example, we have a senior job and we know that if you do this and this, you can easily be fired. Sometimes we compromise our character so that we do not lose in any way. We don't end up losing the big position where we are able to control others. It's a desire in fallen man to have power. And like Shakespeare says, power corrupts, absolute power corrupts absolutely. So you need to always remember as you look at your character, what is motivating you to do what you are doing? What is motivating you to relate with your group the way you are relating? Might it be the desire to achieve? Might it be the desire to belong? Or might it be enjoying power, the desire to control? All of those are things that are likely to put you into trouble with your character. So when you see people, sometimes they begin with good character and things are going wrong. Please understand that is likely to be the ABC of motivation that's affecting, and it will be important because it is important for us to look at it and see whether we are able to follow. Now, go to the next card if you're able to hear me. I wanted to ask the question, what are your major personal motivations for dismissing? What makes you want to keep good character? If you don't mind, now that we cannot break into groups, can you use the chat room to just share with us what motivates you for your major personal decisions? What motivates you, which has given you good character? Second question, what is the main motivation in your organization? That you start as a person of good character doesn't necessarily follow. We have seen many leaders begin well, only to end up by the kind of guy you see later has no comparison with the guy who started. What happens? You start with the good character, and then the good character is spoiled. As you're answering the question about what motivates you to be a good character, I'll be answering the question, what are the threats to you continuing having good character? Dr. Wabura, you can move, now that people have seen the question, you can move to the next card. Dr. Wabura, just move to the next slide. So the first one is self-centeredness. Move backwards. Self-centeredness. It will be important for you to guard yourself against every time you have a behavior issue. Always say, what motivated me to do that? And when you discover you are trying to protect yourself, you're trying to show how powerful you are trying to prove you are a leader, please understand that is self-centeredness. Please move back, Dr. Wabura, move backwards so that you are on the threats to good character. Threats to good character. So that's one of the things that you have to think about. Every time you look at what you are doing, find out, are you doing it for self-preservation? Then chances are, move backwards. Please, Dr. Wabura. Not forwards, but backwards. The second one is social pressure. I'm not calling it peer pressure because peer means people of equal level. My friend, don't try to act like Otieno or like Migindo or like whatever the other name of your area. Social pressure, wanting to be like other people, will change your character. Because you realize, for example, you go to a place you are not drinking, but every other Christian is drinking. Chances are it will be very difficult because by you are not drinking, you look like you are judging them. So the social pressure leads you to end up doing what others are doing. And at the end, you have a problem with your character because of the pressure. And sometimes the pressure is from good people. These are Christians with you. But the kind of things they are pressurizing you to do are not honoring to God. Within no time, you as a leadership could compromise because nobody is challenging the other. So in the end, you end up, social pressure ends up putting you to end up with bad character. Number 3, culture and traditions. You have to check your background because what your mother called good, you are likely to also call good. What your grandfather called good, you are likely to call good. And yet, biblically, it may not be God-centered. It may not be other-centered. For example, you believe your tribe is the only correct tribe. They are the way they do things, the kind of food they eat. That is your culture. It doesn't mean what others eat or others like is wrong. It is different. And I'm not asking you to start eating their food. But you need to come to the level where you don't allow your cultural background to determine your relationship with your followers. Because you know they were not born in your home. So they'll have differences in the way they do things. You must be the kind of a leader who allows for the differences. You don't push people to be like you. Your culture is not necessarily right in every way. So we are talking about the threats to good character. Your culture can put you into trouble. Number 4, the law of competition. The moment you want to be like the other pastor over there, the moment you want to be like the head of department, the other over there, the one moment you feel like, hey, the way Otieno preached today, he is doing better than me. I must beat him. If that's what's motivating you, you end up pulling down. Somebody comes and tells you, do you know, the sermon of Otieno today was fantastic. And you feel like that means I'm not doing well myself. Of course, he's on a comment. He's not commenting about you. He's commenting about Otieno. But the competitive spirit within us will spoil our character. You start saying, yeah, the sermon Otieno preached was good. But did you note that his English is Kikuyu English? Or his English was... What you are trying to do is to bring the estimation of Otieno down. And your character will totally be a mess because you start lying, start emphasizing the wrong things. And when people listen to you, they may not comment, but they know you are no longer a good man. You are not a person of good character. And it is because of the law of competition. And we could talk about sometimes when you do not watch out in your spiritual walk, what we are calling metaphysical forces, there could be spiritual forces that will change your character. And you need to be very careful to be sure you are walking in the spirit, because the devil can easily take over and you start having forces that affect your character wrongly. Next page, I want to answer the question. We need to be finishing soon. I want to answer the question: if you discover you don't have good character, how can you change your character? And that question was asked last Saturday. So I want now to take the time to answer it. If people have joined your church and they are not of good character, how can you help them? This is what will actually help them. And I borrowed the process from International Leadership Foundation, whom I'm one of the trainers in their seminars all over throughout Africa. In fact, last week I spent the time training some people from Zambia on Zoom. Now, and I would really encourage all of you to look for opportunity to go through the training. Of course, they will give you a diploma, not like we who may not necessarily give you a recognizable certificate. But the process they describe of you trying to become different is as follows. The first one is self-awareness. There are people who do not understand themselves. I had a story of somebody who said, you know me, I leave my home problems at home. I never carry them at work. Even if we quarrel with my wife, it can never affect my work. I'm good at separating home issues from work. Then one day, he was a CEO. One day, one of the top managers said, are you having problems at home? He felt very offended. Said, how can you accuse me of something I am a master on? I never bring my problems from home. Now, he was so offended that when they went with his personal friend, not somebody from work, but somebody, a personal friend, he's a Christian. He asked the person, can you imagine? Somebody in the office was accusing me of that I'm having problems at home. No wonder I'm having issues in the office. Don't you know I'm the kind of a person who is able to leave issues of home and I don't bring them here? The other person is a very close friend, said, do you want me to tell you the truth? He said, yes, of course, tell me the truth. Maybe only you are not aware. Even me as your friend, I know whenever you have a problem at home, our relationship gets affected. He was in shock. And that's when he started checking himself. And here what he calls strong is not necessarily true. I would like you to Google in the internet something called the Johari window. The Johari window says there is a part of us people know and we don't know. Yet there is a part of us we know and people don't know. That's why you need honest friends who can help you to become better self-aware. Many of the things that are bad character in you, you are not even aware. You don't even know. You lose your temper. You are not even aware you lost your temper. You don't believe you can lose your temper. The first thing you must do when you want to improve your character is for you to do an analysis of yourself. Every time you are annoyed by your wife, do not reach there and say, my wife is rude. Ask yourself, how come what she said made me annoyed? What annoyed you may not be what your wife said. It may be something that was in your mother's home, where whenever somebody said something like that, it was interpreted in a certain way. Your wife did not come from your home, so she says something very innocently. She's not even aware. It makes you jump. If you become self-aware, you realize you have wrong information that causes you to behave the way you behave. Don't always assume when you get annoyed that is because of what the other person did. They have no power to make you annoyed. Every time you are annoyed, check from within you. There is something with you that was touched and you are sensitive to that is causing you to behave like that. That's the first way of dealing with this, with your character. Self-awareness. And you check yourself, but also look for friends. Your spouse should be number one, who can be honest with you. And they are so loving that they are willing to let you get annoyed, because they know when you settle down, you'll pray, You will talk to God and you will see the truth. They are honest with you. Even if by being honest, it might break up the friendship. I still remember telling a friend of mine that the way he had behaved with his girlfriend, those are many years ago, was wrong. He got so annoyed. He said, Brother Nganga, we were with you at Alliance. We have been friends with you. And now you are siding with this girl. I just introduced this girl to you the other day. How can you side with her? I said, I'm not siding with anybody. I'm siding with the facts. For the next number of years, he never talked to me. The friendship broke. Anyway, thank God he is saved. The other day, the friendship came back. But you have to have people like that honest, who can tell you, even to annoy you. Self-awareness will help to improve your character. Number 2, clarify current understanding of character. Clarify current understanding of character shaping concepts. What are your belief systems? And you always believe, again, just like I've mentioned in self-awareness, look at the way you behave. Find out what is the belief behind it. Every behavior is based on a belief. Like that anger is based on a belief. Joy is based on a belief. What is that belief? What is the existing conceptual understanding that is causing you to behave in a certain way? The moment you understand it, ask, but is that the truth? It may be culturally correct. It may be true. That's what I was taught by my mother. But what does the Bible say? What is the truth? What's the real truth? Because many things we believe are not necessarily true. You start believing that pastors are like this. But that does not include your pastor. It's a general statement. But if you learned it a long time ago and you now treat pastors with that suspicion, that is the conceptual understanding you need to challenge. Then you find out what the truth is. The moment you know the truth, please go back to the existing conceptual understanding and have a more truthful conceptual understanding. That's the process of changing your belief system, your core values, because you are questioning. The trouble with us, we are so lazy, we don't question our understanding that causes us to behave the way we behave. Number 3, determine right understanding of concept. And number 4, engage truth with existing understanding of concept. Number 5, align actions to right understanding. The moment you now realize that the belief system was not right, it will now make you stay. But behaving like this is not in line with the truth. The trouble will be, it's not easy. It has to be a process of forcing yourself. It's not easy, but forcing yourself. Like somebody last night was asking me a question saying, you tell me that it's important for men. It was a men's meeting I was talking to last night on Zoom. But I'm an introvert. I don't like talking to people. Say the moment you know you do not believe in talking to other men, but you now know it is wrong, you now align your actions to the right understanding. You force yourself. Wabura, please go to the next slide. Wabura, please go to the next slide. It's important you align your actions with the new understanding. Initially, it will not work very easily. It will be a struggle. You will fail once or fail another time. But the important thing is you are still pushing. With the help of the Holy Spirit, you will soon be able to align your new actions with the new understanding. Number 6, after some time of struggle, you start behaving differently. People say, yeah, Brother Nganga has changed. Because now you can act in confidence. You now no longer act the way you are born. You no longer act the way you have been acting. Because now, after a lot of struggle with the help of the Holy Spirit, you are able to act in a new way. And number 7, you now depend on God for the power to be the changed person you should be. Now, I'm reading the answers to the assignment. One person says, the reason I act the way I do is because of Christ who called me. I will not want to displease Christ. That's what forces me to act. Sometimes my motivation is going this way, but I realize it will not please Christ. I'm motivated to do what Christ wants. Another one says, he who called me, the Holy Spirit, I follow. So he is empowered by the Holy Spirit. Another one, the fear of the Lord. Sounds like all the answers. Then the other one is, I fear the wrath of the Lord. I avoid the wrath of the Lord. I want to please him. Another one, to please the Lord. the fact that God shall allow punishment on me forces me to act. And the other last one says to please God and be faith in society. That one at least has introduced something else. I want to be acceptable to society. Why? So that I can witness to them. If you're acting in a way that offends society, and not because you are pleasing God, but because you are just self-centered rather than other-centered, you will not be a good witness. And so because you want to be a good witness, you act in a way that is answerable, that helps people to accept the message. That's a very good answers, not from everybody, but from some people. Can we go to the next slide, Brother Daktari? Go to the next slide. It is a demonstration of the principles and process of character transformation. These notes are going to be sent to you so you can see the staircase. Like I said, the first case is self-awareness. Anybody self-aware will be struggling not to repeat the wrong things because they already know it's wrong. They are self-aware. And that's not very easy. I still remember some years gone by, I'm a Gideon, so we give Bibles. I was giving Bibles in a village, and somebody asked me, "Are you Mr. Nganga who speaks on the radio?" I had stopped speaking on the radio. That's 1995, and I had forgotten all about it. And I said, "Me on the radio?" He said, "Yes. You repeat this," and he said something I repeat. I defended myself, so I came and looked for the cassette of those radio talks, and I discovered it is true. There is something I'm always repeating when I'm talking. I was not even aware. So self-awareness is stage 1 in your transformation. Second, we said it's clarify current understanding. 3, determine the right understanding. So now you know your behavior has to change. Number 4, engage the truth with existing understanding so that number 5, you are able to align actions. That will take you to number 6, where you act differently. And number 7, you depend on God to walk in a new way. This thing is not for the bad people. All of us, including me, we are struggling with certain behaviors that must change. If you are going to be leaders with a character that can be emulated by our followers, we will need to be on a continuous process following these principles of transformation, changing your worldview, changing your understanding. That's really what we are talking about. And our belief system are so core, we are not even conscious about them. This process will help you to check your core values. Go to the next slide. So I'm trying to answer the question. Just to give example, and we will soon be finishing. Just to give an example, what mindset shift do you need if you want to transform your society, your group, as a leader? Let me give you negative ones that lead you to bad character. Negative self-image. If you look down on yourself, you'll be having problems. Why? Every time somebody says, "Hey, by the way, Dr. Wabura, why are you so thin?" If you don't believe in yourself, you think they are saying you are bad. They were just stating a fact that you are thin and tall, but now you start thinking they are criticizing you. It's called insecurity. And my friend, you cannot have a good society or good community if they are negative, full of negative self-image. I know currently we are talking about the racism in America. But sometimes it's not the white, it's the black themselves with that negative self-image. The moment the white man mentions something, they are already defending themselves. They are fighting. The policeman stops you, and you're already fighting him because you are not self-confident. That is a character. If you are going to transform your community, that's a character you must analyze in your community and try to change to positive self-identity. You are happy. Once you are happy with yourself, criticism does not bring you down. What do you do with criticism? You check. Is it true? Like somebody says, "You are a dog." Sure, you check. Dogs normally have on 4 legs. You have only 2. You just sympathize with the person because that means he has a sight problem. Because you are walking with on 2 legs. How can he say you are a dog? Now, so you are able to tackle the insult of others when you have positive self-image. So when you have good character, you must have a positive self-identity of yourself. And I have just posted on my YouTube YouTube account. My YouTube account is John N. and Nganga. And I posted about self-worth, understanding yourself and having worth of yourself the way God values you. Number 2, the next problem we have in our community is corruption, where somebody will look for a way of getting something more than what is right. And that happens even in churches. I heard of a church which had youth Sunday, but they could not allow the youth to collect offerings. Why? Oh, you can't trust the youth. One day the pastor says, "How these are the youth that are going to take over the church? How can we not train them in every area? Let me take the risk. If something goes wrong, blame me," he told the elders. The moment the youth were the ones who collected offerings, the thing just doubled. Why did it double? Because when the elders had compromised, all of them agreed, since we are doing extra work, who pays us? So out of the offering, they would pay themselves what you call collection offering allowance. Now, of course, the youth fear God. They can't touch the money that has been collected. No wonder the money increased. You need to understand. You need to understand that corruption is when you want to get something unjustifiably. Corruption is when you want to follow hidden ways. It's lack of integrity. And you need to understand that the requirement of good character is having personal integrity and also public integrity. That means you don't have integrity because you are in church. It's within you. So wherever you go with your integrity. Some people are good in church, bad at home. Some people are good at home, bad at work. Having integrity means you have integrated your life everywhere. That's what we are talking about when we talk about good character. Number 3, you have people who have discrimination. They support certain people, the tall one or the women or the men, and don't support others. That's bad character. You need a communality where everybody to you is the same. You support everybody. And when you give this one work and not this one, it's not on the basis of who they are. It may be on the basis of their gifting, but you accept everybody. Next, partiality against impartiality. Next, favoritism against meritocracy. Why do you allow so-and-so's son to be the one to act in the Sunday school drama? Or it's in order to please the parent? That's not meritocracy, it's favoritism. The son whose parents are not known is never given time to act, because you want the children of the known people in the church to be the one to act during that Sunday after the August children's program. That is favoritism. And the children can see, and they'll know you are not of good character. One person does something, you don't say anything. Another one does something, you come on him like a ton of bricks. That is favoritism, not meritocracy. People of good character, they reward merit, what the ability of the person. And when you reward merit, even the one you have not been rewarded is happy, because he knows, even me, when I get that to that merit, I'll also be given this prize. Mediocrity to excellence. There are people who just don't see mediocrity. That is doing things in a bad way, not excellence. And you need a good person of good character is on a continuous improvement. He can see, although things are good, they can become better. And then the last one is a person of good character does not have self-serving leadership. Instead, they have servant leadership. Now, I don't think we'll be able to do the next exercise, and we will not give examples. I just want to finish so that we have question time. I just want to finish with number 7, which are an assignment I'm giving you. Maybe at another time you tell me where you did the assignment. Is self-reflection. You go through it. I would like everybody who has gone through this training on character to actually go through the question. The first one is, go to the next slide, Dr. Wabura. Next slide. Next slide. So you'll be able to see the assignment. Dr. Wabura, next slide. So in the assignment, next slide. Dr. Wabura? Yeah, that one. Go to number 1. So the first one is identify, consume, understanding the process you have gone through all the way. And then finally, I would like number 5, develop a plan for experience, personal character transformation in the identified areas within the next 6 to 12 months. In other words, have a personal development plan. Find out who you really are, number 5, and find out, write a program for yourself, not for another person, just your self-improvement, so that you can be a better person, your personal development plan. Number 6, what changes do you think would occur in your life as a result of this transformation? Can you describe the new self the moment you do the things that have been listed from number 1 to 5? I finish with a quotation. And Dr. Wabura, you can go to the quotation. Next slide. The quotation says, and it's written by an unknown monk around 1100 AD. Dr. Wabura, yeah. When I was young, I wanted to change the world. I found it was difficult to change the world. So I tried to change my nation. When I found it couldn't change the nation, I began to focus on my town. I couldn't change the town, and as an older man, I tried to change my family. Now, as an old man, I realize the only thing I can change is myself. Not my family, not the nation, but myself. And suddenly, I realized that if long ago I had changed myself, I could then have made an impact on my own family. Then my family, I believe, could have made an impact on our town. The impact could have ended up changing the nation, and I could indeed have changed the whole world. The emphasis throughout this training has been not other people, yourself. May the Lord help us to truly change, to have the kind of character that will give people confidence, non-Christian confidence, to trust us so that we can witness to them, and Christian to trust us so that we can lead them to be better people. Thank you very much. Now it's question time. I don't know who is moderating the questions.
It will be easier for us to be able to communicate on the chat than speak.
I agree, Daktari. Maybe as they are writing, I can say something.
Someone can be able to answer.
Yeah, okay. Let me say something as they are writing. I'm waiting for writing. I must say that to me, any leader who is able to deal with what you have been dealing with have the job done. To ask yourself, what is it in me that doesn't win the followers? But you might find there is no problem in that section. Number 2, find out whether people understand why they need to change. Because you may be telling them, but you haven't bought in. So you need to clarify, why did the group come together? Why do they need to act in a certain way? Don't just give edicts. Do this, do the other. Have a retreat with your followers where you go to the background that answers the question, why do you do what you do? It will help even the group to self-evaluate. It's a pity that a lot of people are just told, enter the bus. They start moving, and along the way they're asking, where are we going? They don't actually know where we are going. How can you expect you'll make an impact on people who don't even know where they are going? It will be important that you are able to help them. But thirdly and importantly, remember, you as a person can change no one. Prayer will be something important. But it always starts with the number 1, you becoming creditable, creditworthy. Can people trust you? Because then you'll find it easier. The next question is, self-awareness is a foundation of character transformation. How does someone not aware of need for transformation get assisted? I think Pastor Agre realized that some of us are not even self-aware. So he called John Nganga to come to tell you that you are not self-aware. So the way to actually help you to be self-aware is to the things we talked about. As I'm talking about what's good character, what's bad character, I hope it helps you to to start asking, am I really of good character? Number two, I've given you a process of checking your self-awareness. Please apply it. Those two will help you. Listening to talks on leadership, and that's what we should be talked to on a continuous basis. But number two, please follow that formula I gave you of checking yourself on a continuous basis. It will help you to become more conscious. Always do not, especially anger. Always check what is making you so angry. Somebody else hearing the same will not get angry. So there is something in you, I believe in you, that causes you to get angry. Check it up. Your wife gives you food with the left hand, you are getting annoyed. But both are her hands. There's a belief system about the left hand that's causing you to get annoyed. First question. Second question, is that a biblical belief? If it isn't, next time you feel like getting annoyed when your wife gives you food with the left hand, stop yourself. You know the problem is not your wife. It is you. That's a kind of self-awareness that will help you. That question says, thanks for reminding us about ABC of human motivation. My question is, when you try to motivate a team that is not self-motivated, how do you address this? Now that you understand what motivates them, it's a very important thing, actually. It will help you to understand that it will be difficult to move your group if they cannot understand the end product. When we reach there, what is in it for me? How are we going to benefit as a church? How are we going to benefit as a Sunday school teachers? How are we going to benefit? And obviously, some of the benefits are going to be in heaven. You must tell people what the benefits are, even if the benefits are spiritual rather than monetary. You understand that people do what they are doing because of the end result. Always ask people to do anything with the end in mind. What is going to be the end product? That's A. B is a sense of belonging. Even if you have a task to do, look for breaks that allow you to take tea together, that allow you to talk to one another, to share testimonies. I call them testimonies from first principles. Here, listen to somebody's story so you understand them better. The moment they feel they are becoming a team, that team will work better. So you need to use the B, the sense of belonging, by creating in the team a sense of caring for one another. If somebody is sick, call on the others to pray for them, to see how you can work together. Have you heard the saying that I don't care what you know until I know you care? I repeat, I don't care what you know until I know you care.